If you drive for DoorDash, there is a new feature that can actually skyrocket your earnings. And we're going to talk about what this is and how can this actually affect your earnings for the better. And if you're someone that actually cares about your rating, if you want to be gold or platinum status, because maybe in your area, the ratings do matter, you're going to really want to watch this whole entire video. And this is a Sunday delivery boost because all you got to do is dash on a Sunday where it actually says Sunday deliveries count as 2 orders instead of 1 towards your last 30-day order rating. And you might be thinking, wait a minute, how's that actually supposed to help me? But if you're trying to get that acceptance rating up where you can actually get to that gold or platinum so you can get those high paying offers, it can make a huge difference. Because once you get those high paying offers, or even with platinum status, getting those catering offers, it can change your entire shift. And if you have the overall Dasher rating, which is like the point system, all of these numbers is going to count. Because with your acceptance rating, you can get a total of 30 points. And with your last 30 days of deliveries, you can get up to 5 points. So once you actually make 1 delivery, it's going to count as 2. But that's only as a gold dasher. So as a platinum dasher, it can actually get even better, where it says Sunday deliveries count as 4 instead of 1 towards your last 30-day order rating. So you might say, well, I'm already platinum, but now this will help you to stay platinum by keeping those ratings high. Because let me tell you what, that acceptance rating, sometimes you get those waterfalls where you just get a bad order after a bad order after a bad order. And if you've seen my ride-alongs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But let's just think for a moment about what other perks that there really are. Now, I'm not too sure about your area, but this is actually what it used to look like when I actually had the Dash Now. That was one of the biggest perks that there was with platinum status. And it still might be in your market, but I know in a lot of other markets, it has switched over. Let me know in the comment box, do you still have this Dash Now feature? Because for me, Dash Now actually passed away months ago. And now we have Platinum Offer Boost. And I also want to thank Twilight Paws, who's actually in our Discord chat, for help providing some of these pictures. Now, with the Platinum Offer Boost, I know I had a video on this a few months ago, and I actually have witnessed this for my own self. It's like when I'm going out to the customer and I'm delivering and I deliver the order, a lot of the times I immediately get another offer. It wasn't always like that, but I have definitely noticed a change. But there's also a gold offer boost as well. But with the higher tier with platinum, it's just that much greater. But here is also another thought. Since you're not going to be like right there in your zone where you have like all your restaurants, you still got to think in your mind about when you start receiving that offer. Let's just say if you're in your zone and it was like, let's say $8 for 4 miles. And of course, that's going to be $2 a mile. But if you get an offer and you traveled that 4 miles and you already know that you're going to be pretty much going right back around that same restaurant. And let's say if you get another offer and it's another $8 order. And let's just say it's 8 miles going back to that same neighborhood, or maybe not even that same neighborhood. Maybe it's still in that radius, but still yet you already know you have to travel that 4 miles back where you're going to be going to anyways. Because here's one thing about DoorDash. It's going to be calculating all those miles that you're actually going to be driving from where you're at to the restaurant and from that restaurant to that customer. It's not going to be like a Walmart Spark where it's just going to show you from point A to point B, which is from that Walmart to the customer. You have to be thinking in the mindset of like where you're going to be going to as you're going to be dropping off. Are there a few restaurants where you kind of want to be at after you deliver? Maybe that's even closer where you can kind of ping pong. Hey, that's great. Do that. But if you're in like a yo-yo market where you had to go back and forth and back and forth, pretty much like me, and I understand and feel your pain, but sometimes that's the cards that we're dealt and we got to adjust to how we're going to do these deliveries. So you got to be thinking now, if you're already delivered and you're 4 miles away, and you get an offer for $8 for 8 miles, is that really $1 per mile? Or is that another $2 per mile? Because if you were going to go back anyways, and if you just delay you just actually getting that offer, what is it going to look like then if you got the order where you was just at? It will look like what? $8 for 4 miles, and you still would have took it. This is all about, in my past video, bend but don't break. It's about the psychology and just the thought process, especially in that type of yo-yo type of market. And when I got to actually see things a little bit differently, because I noticed, like, you know what? Hey, this is actually calculating the whole mileage here. I thought about things completely differently, and I was actually able to keep my rating up higher. So test and tinker that in your market and let me know, because I know for some of you all, it has been like a complete game changer of just knowing that. And I actually read that in y'all's comments. I even remember like one comment stating this like, oh my gosh, I haven't dashed in a long time. I didn't even think about that. I'm ready to go tomorrow. I was like, oh, awesome. I know exactly how you feel. So once you mix in that, then you also have the Sunday boost. Oh my gosh, your rating is going to be so much better, and your earnings. But I already know, I can see it right now, that people in the comments that say, oh, platinum doesn't matter. And you know what? For many people, it doesn't in certain markets, because there's so many good high paying offers anyways, because people actually tip. What? But if you're in a market like me, trust me, you don't even be around this area. I'd probably even actually have to go to another market that'd be like probably 10 times better. But I really don't want to travel 45 minutes when I'm only going to be dashing for 3 hours. Then I still got to think about the gas that I've already went to and fro, where I could have just pretty much stayed in my area and stayed at my goal of trying to make $20 an hour. But what if I traveled all that way and only made like $22 an hour? Would it have been worth it then? Yeah, it would have been a little shaky. What if I did make 25? Would it have been worth it? Now, what if it was $30 an hour? Would that have been worth it? But you still have to go out there and figure out the market. And I don't know about you. I'm excited. I'm about ready to go dashing right now. And one of the things that does excite me about platinum status are those catering orders. Now, I've received some, it's in the 20s. I've received some in the 30s. But it's even sweeter when you get those 40, 50, even 70, even my most recent of over $80. I believe it's like 84 and change. I was like, what? And I know some of you have even had higher than that. Be sure and put it in the comment box below of what your highest catering order you've ever received on DoorDash or whatever platform it is on. Don't be shy, put it down below. But however, when we go day in and day out, most of these orders are just going to be just the regular orders, just your standard 1, maybe 2 meals. And that's okay, because what we want to do, like I always say, just keep it stacking. Of course, normally you're just going to get like 2 orders in an hour, most likely. Now, if you got something that's going to be close by, you might just get 3 orders an hour. And if you can still be nearby, it's even possible to get 4 orders in 1 hour. You might be, woo, dang, you be hustling, you be going. But yeah, you are, you're going. But I'm telling you what, just enjoy the process. Let's have fun with it. And as we're even going out and delivering, even meeting new people, it'd also be good to have a food delivery bag to keep that customer foods hot or cold, depending on what you're going to pick up. And I'd recommend Delivery Pro, because not only is it an insulated food bag, but it also leaves the impression to it actually engrave it inside the customer's mind that you're not just any type of dasher. You're just not any type of food delivery driver. You actually hold yourself up into a high standard and you deliver like a pro.